Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show, April 6, 2021. Coming live from Studio 44. Producer James in the building. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
You good?
Good.
Good. I like it. There's a lot of goods right there. I thought you may have said fine, freaked out, insecure, nervous, and what's the E stand for?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. No. All right, let's get into this real quick. Last night, we crowned a new national champion in the men's basketball tournament. Baylor literally running away with that win last night over the Gonzaga Bulldogs. You really thought that this game would have been a little bit closer, as most would have thought. Lots of money being heavily hedged on bets for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, the Baylor Bears, and Waco partied last night. Not sure if you got to see this, but at McLean Stadium in Waco on Baylor's campus, the football field, the student section stormed the football field with a W in the national championship for Baylor while they were in Indianapolis. So that was pretty cool to kind of see that live feed. Somebody was able to graciously get that content put out on Twitter. So very nice to see the Baylor Bears celebrating a national champion. Only the second ever champion from Texas. I think the other champion was what is now UTEP. I think it used to be called Texas Western University. So very good to see that. I may be wrong. If I am wrong, let me know in the comments. Producer James monitoring there below for everybody. I know previously y'all have had comments and we've missed them. Our apologies. My apology. We'll try to get that, taken care of in a very timely manner. So if you're in the comments, go ahead and tell us if we're good. Tell us if we're great. If we stink, tell us we stink. If we're just plain annoying, we'd love to hear that too. Let's not bury the lead anymore. Today, Anthony Busby, the lawyer who is representing the 22 plaintiffs against Deshaun Watson in civil court, has come forward with a press conference today around noon Central Time, bringing his first plaintiff number one, who will potentially be identified on the court docket. She has identified herself as Ashley Solis. It was a very heavy press conference for everybody involved, especially her, in her claim that Deshaun Watson had sexually assaulted her. And so she did not speak much. She only answered, I believe, if not two questions, maybe one, on how to properly spell her name. Anthony Busby and his co-counsel, Miss, let me make sure I say her name right. Let's see. I have some notes here. Take with me. I just want to make sure that everything is said correctly and appropriately, because we really just want to be here about the facts. That's kind of what I'm really looking to get into, mainly as we move forward. So his co-counsel for Anthony Busby was Miss Branfield Harvey. She read a letter involving a second plaintiff, which was very, for those who are not used to hearing very explicit words sexually in the sexual assault arena, it was quite heavy to watch. If you haven't had any experience of that, it may have been a little uncomfortable for most, or if you have any trauma, it potentially could have triggered you at that time. So Anthony Busby has come forward and identified his first plaintiff. He says that there's more women who are looking to come forward, and that at a later date, those women may come out, may not. Using very general language, just not to paint himself in a corner, I'm sure, with any kind of litigation. So that occurred about noon. Very, very heavy to watch that as well. I was able to watch that live out of a news feed out of Houston. I believe it was their CBS affiliate out of Houston. 2 hours ago, a response by Rusty Hardin, who is the representative, the legal representative for Deshaun Watson, released a lengthy statement identifying some key facts that I'll go ahead and pass along to you. The whole correspondence began between Anthony Busby claiming that he was demanding a $100,000 settlement from Deshaun Watson, and at the first representative for Deshaun Watson was Scott Garfield out of Athletes First Agency out of Laguna Beach, which I'm going to go ahead and make the assumption Laguna Beach is out of Florida. Now, what was said here, and this appears to be some information Rusty thought it may be prevalent to, begin the timeline of when Anthony Busby and the connection between the plaintiffs and Deshaun Watson began. So I'm going to read some information here. and it may give a little bit of light to the situation. I'm not going to read the entire release in response to Anthony Busby, but I'm just going to leave you what I believe to be factual. Feel free to look up this information on your own as well. So Rusty Hardin is indicating that Mr. Busby himself repeatedly claimed that the litigation he filed on behalf of the other Jane Does, quote unquote, isn't about money. At the initial press conference on March 19th, announcing the first wave of lawsuits, Mr. Busby stated, quote, "The case ain't about money, and it certainly ain't about seeking publicity or fame. I personally don't need it, and these women don't want it. The case is about female empowerment," end quote. Those were the words stated by Mr. Busby on March 19th in his press release. Rusty Hardin goes on to say, "In fact, according to documentation below, Mr. Busby sought $100,000 in hush money on behalf of Miss Solis to quietly settle the allegations the month before he filed the first lawsuit, which before indicates it was March 19th. Rusty Hardin goes on to say, quote, Mr. Busby goes on to quote, say, "My client's demand is $100,000. Again, this correspondence is between Scott Garfield of Athletes First Agency in Laguna Beach. Continuing on February 9th of 2021, an email on behalf of Miss Solis was sent by Miss Branfield Harvey, followed up with the clarification of $100,000 demand later that same day, quote, saying, "This offer remains open until Friday of this week," end quote. Mr. Busby is copied on all this, CC'd on all the emails. So when we kind of take a step back and we look at all this information, we have Anthony Busby going and having a press conference on April 6th, 2021, with his first public plaintiff identified as Ashley Solis, self-identified as Ashley Solis. Then Rusty Hardin comes in back in the afternoon and says that Anthony Busby sent an email, or someone on behalf of Anthony Busby's representatives sent an email to Deshaun Watson saying they want $100,000 for hush money. That's what Rusty Hardin is saying. So you have these two pieces of information. It's like Rusty Hardin is saying, you said this is about money by making these lawsuits public and coming forward. But before, in March 19th, you said that this wasn't about money or fame. It was about female empowerment. So you have all those facts put together, and you have to scratch your head and you say, well, who's telling me the truth? And perception is reality. And at 12 o'clock today, in the public court opinion, most people all over social media were saying Deshaun Watson is guilty just by the perception. Well, now a few hours come back later and you see that Rusty Hardin has documentation saying that there was a $100,000 settlement that was used to settle a allegation quietly. That doesn't sound very. Why do you need to quiet an allegation with $100,000? Very fishy. These are all this is all alleged. Nobody's produced any emails or documentation. They'll probably will in court,
especially if it's not about money.
Especially if it's not about money. I mean, you're dragging somebody's name through the dirt in Deshaun Watson, and you're also running these women's name through the dirt. Like this Ashley Solis woman, her name is going to be torn up and down and pulled inside and out and for what? Potentially $100,000. So I'm going to say this, like I said in the very beginning when I talked about this topic, if Deshaun Watson is guilty and found guilty through due process in a court of law, then he needs to be punished to the full extent of the law. And the same thing for every plaintiff that comes forward, they need to be held accountable to the full extent of the law if Deshaun decides to countersue. Now, I don't know why Deshaun would want to do that. I think what he really wants is for this just to go away. But Deshaun Watson, I do believe, based off further information in this document that Rusty Hardin has put forth publicly, it says that they believe Deshaun Watson has learned his lesson on not to hang around or be in the presence of people he does not know, because you shouldn't be putting yourself in situations that you can be compromised in. And if nobody knows that going forward, you sure as hell better learn it now. Because if you're in situations that are going to put you in a predicament to be sued or taken advantage of or extorted, why are you putting yourself in that position? Now, I understand that this all began with therapeutic massage. I get it. I understand there's a need for that. I understand that there's going to be parts of the body that athletes are going to need work on. But at the same time, you look at Deshaun Watson, I'm like, brother, you're telling me you can't go get a therapeutic massage in a multi-billion-dollar facility with the Houston Texans? You're telling me you can't do that? I get it. You have a problem with him, but do you have a problem with the trainers too? And if you're doing this, why aren't you doing this on maybe like, hey, this is gonna be monitored. There's gonna be somebody else in the room. We're gonna have it in an area where, there's an eyewitness who can, support me. So I'm not being potentially sued like you are now. It's a tough situation. It's very fluid. I believe this is gonna be going on for months until this gets into a courtroom. And if people don't know, the Houston Police Department is doing their investigation also. And I'm going to be very clear. I'm pretty sure they're going to have this document that came out that Rusty Hardin produced. I'm sure HPD had it before the public had it. I would be shocked if they didn't. And HPD, I wouldn't be surprised if they've seen an email or two. Because at the end of the day, this can all get settled in civil court. But if it goes criminal, that means the DA is going to have to pick up the charges or do the charges, file the charges rather. And the DA is not going to do that unless he has something he can have a solid foundation on, because this is a high profile individual. Very, very tough times for Deshaun. But again, for everybody out there, don't be doing business with people you just don't know, because apparently it's literally a very compromising situation. Pun intended. Any thoughts, James? Do you want to contribute?
Man, that's a lot, dude.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it really is. It seems like a complicated situation. Like me personally, I love massages. Like, shout out to my poor woman. She's always rubbing my back and all that shit, But, she's my woman and all that. It's just crazy, man. Like, who knows? Like, it might have been like, we don't know. We weren't there. And then facts, the actual proof straight up hasn't been made available to the public, right?
And it won't be, because these lawyers are there's a reason they're expensive attorneys. And it's because they probably do good work, and they're not going to give you their evidence in public. They're just going to tell you what we think we have. They're like, oh, we have the case won. Every lawyer that's worth anything is going to say that. Yeah. And that's why Rusty Hardin probably had to come back out and say, look, Busby, you've been dominating the public opinion about Deshaun Watson and just basically running his name through the ground. Well, let me let you know a little something what we have. And apparently he's saying, Rusty Hardin that is saying that we have email correspondence. And if he's saying that we have email correspondence, that's maybe telling Anthony Busby, allegedly, maybe your encrypted files or your encrypted emails that you thought were working are not. Maybe we have better tech to unencrypt those emails and get the information that's in the body of them. That's what I'm thinking way outside the box, because if Busby wouldn't have come forward if he knew Rusty Hardin had the email correspondence between Scott Garfield and his agency out of Laguna, or Athletes First agency in Laguna Beach. I don't think he would have done that, because you're overplaying your hand.
It's probably like a little slight flex. Like, hey, man.
Right.
Look what I got.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That's been a heavy segment real quick. 16 minutes after the hour, we're going to get into a quick break. And then we'll get back into some more feel-good sports, because this is heavy. And for some, it makes people uncomfortable. And for me, it's like, well, let's follow the money. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. The Masters is this week. The 3-hole championship is tomorrow, which basically means all the par threes. Basically, they'll be out there. Caddies will probably be sons or daughters or maybe a wife or two. I don't know. For the players out there. So everybody, you all right, bud?
Yeah, I'm good.
This is how you make that face. I'm like, you getting a little drink, get a little heavy over there? A little thick?
Yeah, something different.
Yeah. The par 3 championship tomorrow for the Masters at Augusta in Georgia will be commencing. So I'm really excited to be watching that. I'll probably have it on the background while I'm doing the 9 to 5, so to speak. And then Thursday we'll begin round 1 for the Masters Championship, and it's gonna be a fun ride. This past week at the Valero Championship in San Antonio, Jordan Spieth, a fellow Texan, won the Valero Championship there. I'm not sure if it's called the Valero Open anymore, but it's sponsored by Valero. I do know that at the very luxurious Marriott resort that they have over there in Stone Oak in San Antonio. Very nice facility. But the Masters will be commencing. DeChambeau, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, who won it last year, will be in contention as well. I'm sure Rory McIlroy is going to be trying to get a jacket. DJ may try to repeat, and then who knows, man? Maybe some of the elder statesmen will try to make a run at it. I'm sure Phil Mickelson will be in the mix. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rounds go with the weather. If there's maybe like some rainstorms that kind of pop up in Georgia, that'll be interesting to see how that kind of fares out. Usually, like one day of play. So there's 4 rounds: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The championship will be on Sunday. One day there's just kind of inclement rainstorm will just come in and kind of just like stop play. And usually it's like early morning. And so, very historical event. Pretty much the Super Bowl of golf will be going down this week. Last year, it got moved to November just because of COVID. And, man, apparently now there's like a documentary, like The Day the Sports World Stood Still. I think it's on either Netflix or HBO Max. Anyways, I remember it. Like, I lived it. We were doing a Recon podcast, and like the reason I bring it up is because the Masters was the biggest event that was happening post COVID, and like when COVID dropped, it literally shut down the NBA instantly, canceled the NCAA March Madness tournament for 2020, and then the next big event that was to come, and everybody was like, Georgia, it's more conservative. They're gonna try to go through this, and they said, nope, we're shutting it down. And they said, we don't know when we're going to bring it back or if we'll bring it back for 2020. And so they did run it back. They had it in November, which was kind of weird because it's like, you have this very adjusted football season, and then you're having pretty much the Super Bowl of golf in the middle of this adjusted football season in November, which November is usually like the highlight of college football. Like every week or every day of the month, there's pretty much a game of football on, like no matter if it's pro, high school, or college, but it's on broadcast on live television. And to have that Masters then was kind of odd. Of course, Dustin Johnson won it last year, and we're looking forward to see how it fares this year. But when it comes down to, man, it's like, how are you going to putt? How are you going to read those greens? And the reason I brought up the rain also is because that can really adjust, or that can really make you have to adjust on the greens. On if the greens are real wet, they're going to be fast. If they're a little bit more drier, they could be a little slow. You got to adjust your game for that. Getting notifications on my phone like left and right.
I didn't know you keep up with golf like that.
Yeah, man. A shout out to Papa Romeo. Papa Romeo's put me on to everything, man. Like everything, like I'm pretty much into. I've told that story too, where like in junior high, like I didn't like football. What it was is I didn't like to practice, and practice, bro. Like it was, and Papa Romeo was like, "You're doing it," and I'm just like, "All right, I guess I'm doing it." And then get into high school, and I turned out to be pretty good. But with golf, like, man, when it's not football season, for me, it's pretty much like I don't like baseball. Basketball, I'm like, I'll watch the playoffs, but that's about it. But for golf, like for me, it's just something about watching is like relaxing. People are like, it's boring. But I like crazy stuff. Like in the Winter Olympics, I like, have you heard of geez, what's it called? Gosh, I can't. I know what it's called. I just can't think of the word off the top of my head. Anyways, it's called. Nope, can't think of it. It's not coming to me. Anyways, there's this large rock, and it's called a rock, and it has a handle, and they like slide on the ground, and they have these brooms.
Oh yeah, they like.
And they're trying to like manipulate it to like They're scrubbing the ice. I know it's a word I know. I just can't think off the top of my head. Anyways, that's a really fun sport to watch, especially during like the Winter Olympics. But for golf, it kind of has that same aspect where it's like real quiet. You're not supposed to be, loud. You need to be real, diligent, and it's a precise game. And so, kind of wrapped into those, two different sports is kind of fun to watch like that. James is trying to do the search right now to bring up the sport.
I thought it was.
I want to say it starts with an S.
Yeah, me too.
Is this Winter Olympics? It looks like there we go. There it is. Curling. It's called curling.
Okay.
It's on the second one to the right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was totally wrong with the S. But yeah, curling is fun to watch for me. I don't know why, but it's enjoyable on my end. That'd be interesting. I didn't think that segment would kind of go into curling from golf. Kind of a weird transition to go back and forth. Do you watch golf? Have you ever like tried to get? Do you play golf?
I played golf once in my life.
What did you do?
We went to my old company that I used to work for. They have a annual golf tournament.
Okay.
So some of the buddies, they're like, "Oh, you never played golf? Let's go."
Did they take you to the driving range first?
Well, we got there early and we were hitting at it has like a little, it's that one over there in San Marcos off of Highway, I think it's 2020. It's like off to the side as soon as you're getting into San Marcos. I think it's like Quail Creek or something like that.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
So anyways, we went out there and they gave us like beer tickets. So we were out there like drinking beer at like 8 a.m, riding in the golf cart.
Boozer.
It was fun. It was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, it's a very common thing to do, especially with companies. It's just to go out and, play golf and drink beer and have a good time and bet on putts, or if you best ball. I'm not saying that happens all the time, but maybe that happens. I don't know. But golf is a real fun sport, and pretty much anybody can get into it. Like, I remember Papa Romeo like showing me how to like hold the club when I'm like, man, I don't know, like 6 or 7, and then we would like go play at the state park here, and I go driving ranges. Like I did all that all the way like kind of growing up. But I was exposed to a lot of sports growing up. Soccer was the first sport I ever played, and I hated it because you had to run, and I've always been the fat kid. And I was like, let me play goalie. They're like, no. They're like, you're running. And I remember once I was like, it's usually a football field. It's usually like 100 yards long. And I was like on the other side, and our goal was across the way. It was probably like 60 yards. And I'm 10. And, dude, I just like, boop, I pumped that sucker. And the goalie was like not close to the goal. And it like bounces over their head and like trickles in. I scored a goal. I was like, yeah, son. Yeah, that was like the only goals I ever scored in my life.
It's like your career soccer highlight.
Dude, that is my highlight. It's like, hey man, I scored. I don't care what anybody says. I put one in the net.
That's hard to do in soccer too, right?
Well, yeah, but you got to remember we're all 10. Everybody's like, a little group is like, run to the ball. Nobody spreads out to like properly play soccer or anything, or football.
That's funny.
But yeah, man. So I really enjoy soccer. We'll probably get into the World Cup. World Cup qualifiers are going on currently right now. I didn't really think we would talk about that either, but it is something that's happening. Watched a little La Liga MX this past weekend, a little Mexican league soccer. You watch soccer either?
No.
Man, bro, like, we gotta get you up to speed. How you gonna be producer on a sports show? You just like golf? No. Curling? No. Soccer? No.
Nah.
Football? No. MMA? All right, now you got me. Now here we go. Speaking of MMA, when we come back, we'll talk about one championship that'll be airing tomorrow on TNT, and talk a little bit about the matchups. Some of these fighters I don't know, but apparently this like one championship, they're becoming like a rival to the UFC. Is that right?
Yeah, they've been around. They're kind of like the Pride Fighting the current Pride fighting.
But they're out of like Taiwan, right?
Yeah, something like that.
They're not an American organization.
No.
But they got American fighters all over.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we'll get into that a little bit and talk about the card just a tad, and then I don't know. People are saying they want to hear more about my King Kong feelings about the movie. I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. Getting back into the mix. I didn't think we'd have MMA on this. Hold on, before we get into this, did you see what I dropped in there about the Ruiz Arreola fight being on pay-per-view?
Yeah.
What a crock of shit.
Yeah.
$50, bro. 50.
You gonna fork it up? Or
No, I was like, man, should I buy it? I don't want to buy it because it's coming off the week of the UFC 261. That's $70. And I'm like, no, I get it. It's in a new month. But at the same time, it's like, I'm going to want to pay for the $70 for UFC 262 in May 15th. Or I could just have you like live stream it to me on Facebook since you're going to be there. Unless that fight's not going to be, unless it's not going to be there.
Check it
what
again.
if they 11th hour just pulled the fight? They're like, oh, we're going to put it on the June card. Sorry.
I'd be pissed.
You'd be hot. Yeah. So a load of nonsense for Arreola and Ruiz Jr. May 1st. I don't even think they know where it's going to be at yet. And so I don't know. I was pretty upset when I saw that. I was like, okay, it's going to be on PBC Boxing. It'll be on Fox. Nope. Fox pay-per-view for Ruiz Arreola boxing. No thanks, man. There's nobody on that card I would want to watch besides those two. All right, let's get back into it. One championship on TNT. There's actually going to be the undercards. They're going to be live stream on Bleacher Report. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
So yeah, there's a big undercard for that fight. It looks like there's 2 fights that are going to be on the live stream for Bleacher Report. It's going to be, I don't know if I can see these. Actually, there's 6 fights. I'm going to try to read these guys' names, but I'm going to butcher them. It looks like it's Rade Opicic and Patrick Schmidt and then on the other fight, it's going to be Mahadi Baraghi versus Pius, who's a Cameroon fighter. So he may have a little Ngannou in him with that. And then in the main event for the live undercard, it's going to be Tyler McGuire, the American, versus Raymond, Russian last name. I can't say that name. Anyways, the big title fight is going to be Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson versus some Brazilian guy named Morales. Adriano Morales, is that right?
Yeah.
Adriano, yeah. I'm butchering these guys' names. Sorry, I'm just not really.
You could have just read this.
Well, I was looking for it when I was looking up, and I didn't see it there in front of me. I'm like, well, I'm going to get into this. Let me just start reading what I have in front of me.
Like a teleprompter.
I'm just like, come on, man. Let me get my Biden on real quick. I don't know, man. Are you looking forward to any of these fights?
Well, I mean, it's one championship's biggest month in history with four
They're
weeks.
they're having the same thing next month.
Dude, okay, so I was about to read this whole thing out. So it looks like right here that they're having one on TNT April 7th and April 8th. It's like back-to-back nights. Is that correct?
Sure,
what I'm saying?
Are you sure that maybe it looks like that?
Oh,
other one's
okay,
it's like a rebroadcast.
Yeah. And then they're having one on TNT 2, April 14th, one on TNT 3, April 21st, and one on TNT 4, April 28th. Like all consecutive.
That's 6. No, I'm just kidding. It's 4.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck? And and then it looks like
is that Empower going to be a pay-per-view event?
Yeah, it looks like it does look like I think so, yeah. But that I always look forward to watching Demetrius Johnson fight.
So you think this is going to be a good test for him? Do you know Adriano Morales?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't either. But apparently they're both champions, right?
Yeah, it's like champion versus champion, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to probably go back and forth between Dark Side and your show, but your show was only about an hour. I got a feeling, why on April 7th? Why on a Wednesday? Maybe that's the only time slot they had available at TNT.
Possible.
But on a Wednesday?
Because they do basketball on Thursday nights, I believe. TNT
right,
on
but
Thursday
what about
night.
Saturday?
Yeah, true.
I mean, there's nothing going on this week. I mean, there is a free event on UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Not really free. It's on ESPN Plus. But this could have easily been on Saturday. On TNT, what are you showing? Reruns of Law and Order? I don't know. I don't watch TV. But I don't know. Or how about Friday? I mean, what else is going on? There's nothing going on. You definitely put this event on the weekend. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people are going to watch, to be honest with you.
We'll see.
You think? It's going to go head to head with the wrestling.
Oh,
the WWE SmackDown. Is that Wednesdays or Saturday?
Fridays.
Okay, well maybe that's why they didn't do it on Fridays because they don't have to compete with any other live events.
I think the hardcore MMA fans will
They already know. They've probably been waiting They've been waiting for this probably.
True.
The only reason I got into one championship is because I heard Rogan talk about it. And I'm like, what is it? And so I looked it up, and I saw like they had highlights on their Instagram, and I'm like, where are these people fighting? And apparently, like they're fighting all over the world except the United States.
It's like pretty crazy rules. Like
and I mean, there's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit more aggressive, and so maybe that's what they're trying to do is like slowly introduce. Like, let's fly underneath the radar in America. Let's show some brutality. The Americans are gonna get hopped up, and then they'll start wanting to buy like our pay-per-views.
It looks like they're getting them primed up.
I mean, you're doing prime time. It's just on Wednesday. 7:00 is prime time. There's nothing. March Madness is over. Baseball is like up in the air. Basketball is like getting ready for playoffs. There's nothing really going on Wednesdays. I mean, unless you're going to church. But I mean,
Or watching Dark Side.
You should go to church, or you should watch Dark Side, or you should go to church and then watch Dark Side. But you may have to go to church again after you watch Dark Side. Just saying. I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there. Let's see, what are we at real quick? 44 minutes after the hour. King Kong. Let's just touch on this now before we come back from break. King Kong was, like I said, like 1.5 stars out of 4. 1.5 stars out of 4. Only thing I liked was the fight scenes. There was only 2 of them, and everything else was just could have done without it. Could have done without Millie, whatever Bobby Brown girl that is. Could have done without the New Zealand kid and the actor from ATL from Atlanta. Could have done without those 3. Yeah, could have done without a lot. But it was, I mean, I like the CGI. Colors look good. James is just looking at his computer, not trying to have a conversation here.
I'm listening. I'm waiting for you to say, what did you think about it?
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. Yeah, but I do have my kids' review.
Well, that's different. You're getting the perspective of 9 to 14-year-olds. And what's the perspective?
Yeah,
they loved it. I bet.
Yeah, they
it had the colors, it had the kids, it had the heartfelt sign language. Kong could speak.
Yeah,
while he's eating handfuls of blue marlin off the ship's deck. Not really blue marlin, but
they were like, King Kong can talk, and I was like, what? I was like, all right,
he can't talk. He can communicate. There's a difference. I'm over here yelling at 9-year-old kids. What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna show him later. Hey, look what this guy said.
I'll tell him. Well, you'll know me, son. Who said that? That's David Goggins. You'll know me, son. Who's gonna carry the boats? You're gonna carry the boats?
I ain't carrying nothing.
Yeah, you sure about that? All right, y'all. We're gonna take a break real quick. When we come back, King Kong was it was 1 star. It was
You took away a half?
Yeah, I just thought about it more and more. I'm just like, I only liked 2 scenes out of the whole movie. It was, look, there ain't no damn hollow earth. All right, we'll come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Just looking at different stuff coming down the pike on Twitter. This is just reserved for high school athletes. I don't bother with all the other nonsense going on the
Scrolling
world.
through your subscriptions.
You mean my follows?
Yeah.
My followers? Yeah, I got some followers. Close to 800 on Twitter. Get at your boy, Recon Athlete. You can help us grow too at P Rodriguez Show. We need to figure out how to get that, like, the full name. But I probably don't have enough followers, and I don't have enough. I ain't got enough clout, bro. I don't know. Just ain't big enough yet. What happens if we do get, like, what happens if we just, like, blow up? Just, like, stupid blow up.
You know, first thing coming out of me. Show me the money.
That's right. Show you the money. Well, I mean, I hope we blow up so we can show you the money. And that's the reason it's a good thing, because it would show me some money. But yeah, Caleb Brown, linebacker out of Del Valley, saying, big news coming. Hourglass. No. Hourglass emoji, exclamation point. That tells me, off of my experience, a commitment is coming soon. So, Wizard, if you're out there listening, fire up that old computador, because there's going to be an edit coming real quick. And I'm actually going to take a quick cheat. I have a couple of sources I cheat with to see if I can get some inside information on athletes, on where they may be committing. So, look at that. There was a search. It said Caleb Brown, Del Valley, Recon. Oh, somebody's doing not me, but somebody's doing some searching with Caleb Brown with Recon Athlete in the search engine.
What is that, on Twitter?
No, that's on Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's a big deal, because it's on Google. Nope, no predictions. Okay, well, something may change soon. I don't know. We'll see. Get Caleb on the horn and be like, hey, man, no, let me rephrase that. We're not going to get him on the horn. This hashtag no ad. We're going to get him on the mic. No, can't do that one because of Dark Side.
Got you cornered.
We'll get him on the show. We'll get him on the show, Jack. Recon show. Get him to do a little live commitment on the air. You know how many people that would piss off? A lot.
How many people that make happy? Two.
Maybe even four. Maybe even four. But no, let's get into it real quick. If y'all missed it, Aaron Rodgers was hosting Jeopardy. He'll be hosting Jeopardy all this week. I'm going to have to catch the episode tonight on YouTube like I did last night's show. But something pretty controversial somewhat. The 2-day champion wrote in his answer for Final Jeopardy. What did he write in, Producer James?
Whose decision was it to kick that field goal?
Aaron Rodgers literally on that video, like, looks down and kind of has a laugh to himself. But he could have totally roasted whoever's decision that was if he would have went public with the answer, because you know damn well he knew who it was. And he would have just been a firestorm if he would have let that information go public. The question is, because these shows are recorded, pre-recorded, what if he gave the answer and he had them edited out, and he has a copy of the unedited delivery
that we'll see later on down the road?
I mean, maybe it's going to be in a documentary.
What if he just what if he leaves, what if this is his last season and then he just uses it as
dude, he's already, well, here's something interesting. You were kind of filtering through Twitter there. His soon to be wife, his fiance, who's an actress, she went live on her Instagram, and her and Aaron were together, and she asked that question. She proposed it. She was like, are you going to go do Jeopardy full time now that you're done with football? And he goes, no, he has a lot more left in the tank, and he has more things to prove, like winning Super Bowls. And so he kind of like debunked that question quickly, because I bet a lot of people probably had that curiosity, just as you did, with him hosting Jeopardy and doing what apparently he did pretty well. A lot of people are giving him a lot of good feedback who are in the industry of like hosting and TV. So pretty cool to kind of see Aaron Rodgers potentially building his future, because he doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to be in the booth. I thought Peyton Manning would be in the booth, but I think Peyton Manning could really have like a comedic career because he's just so funny
Yeah.
and witty. And I think with Aaron, he's more of wanting to like host a intellectual show similar to like Jeopardy, but he's not going to do like, I'm smart. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Like Jeff Foxworthy. He ain't doing that. He ain't doing Joe Rogan's Fear Factor. He ain't doing that nonsense. He wants to do a show like Jeopardy. The question is really going to be, will that opportunity be there when it's time for him to retire? Like, is there going to be like a stopgap for someone to come in, hold down the fort until he's done with football? I mean, because right now he's 37, and if he takes care of his body, probably like GOAT 12, Tom Brady. I mean, he could literally be playing maybe till he's like 42 or 3. That's 6-7 years. I don't think that opportunity at Jeopardy is going to be there in 6 or 7 years. Maybe like 4 or 5.
Do they have like celebrities like lined up to like?
Well, they've already had celebrities do the show,
like pre-record.
Right, pre-record like Aaron is doing. Like they had like Dr. Oz. They had a couple.
Oz.
Yeah, they had a couple of other individuals who were like doing the show, but that show is primarily groomed to like, you know, intellectuals and the elderly, like because what the time it comes on TV in the daytime.
What is it, like 3 or 4?
I want to say it's like probably 3 or 4, something along those lines. But for Aaron, it would be a great opportunity to like bring in a new younger demographic for that Jeopardy show. You know, it's like, how are we going to make a name who can we get that's going to pop on TV and bring in a new demographic to our show, which could boost our ratings, boost our revenue? It'd be a guy like Aaron Rodgers, someone who's he's articulate, you know, he looks the part, he can play the part, and, you know, he obviously has the drive to do it. That's the other biggest key is like he wants to be there.
Multi-NFL
And it's not
MVP.
like he needs the money, you know what I mean? It's not like he needs, but I bet he'd be well compensated at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought you had more to chime in.
He just left something off his resume.
I don't need to mention his Super Bowl wins or his MVPs. I don't need to mention that.
Okay.
That's inherent. Okay. Football people know that, James. Like, you knew it. You're a football guy. You just know that's a part of his resume.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. He needs a little bit more hardware before he can step away from the game. Because I'm going to say this.
I agree.
When you have 2 Super Bowls compared to just one, you're just talked about different. If Peyton Manning does not win that Super Bowl in Denver, he is not going to be compared to the greats. And he is one of the greats. Unfortunately, his brother won 2 Super Bowls also, so we have to bring him in the conversation. And he won them against who?
Yeah.
Who did he beat?
The GOAT.
Twice. And one of those seasons was undefeated. He gave them their only L in the Super Bowl off of a bogus catch. Not a bogus, but tremendous circus catch.
Yeah, that Peyton Manning game in Denver also, it wasn't like a very astounding performance.
It was Von Miller taking over the game, and it was Peyton doing enough to get the job done, and pretty much like humbling Cam Newton to a new level. That's what Von Miller did in the Denver Broncos. That's really what happened. But again, you had to play all the games to get there.
True.
You had to score more points than the other team to get there. Granted, if you have a vaunted defense like Denver did at that time, hey man, the ring is going to shine if it's the same day or if it's in 25 years. It's still going to shine the same way.
Very true.
Some other news kind of going down. Anything else you wanted to chime in about? The guy you have on your poster and you wink at every night before you go to bed.
Yeah,
on your wall, the poster.
He has a man bun.
In the show?
No, like I saw his woman had like posted like a IG story.
His fiance, bro. His fiance.
I mean, it's still his woman, right?
I don't know. But it's just, anyways,
excuse me. Yeah, she was like, "Oh, look at my husband or my."
See, I got you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Look at my man. This is what she says. She said, "Look at my man. He's this and he's that. He just shaved. He's got his little man bun." And I was like, "Dude, really?"
So apparently in the show, they had to like do some cosmetic adjustments with his hair, and they figured it out. So good for them. He didn't have to cut his hair, but I mean, who knows what kind of sorcery they had to put together to make his hair like lay a certain way with the comb over, but still not be like puffed up to where he looks like he has on maybe a wig or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just,
it's TV, right?
It's sorcery. TV can make you look. I mean, look how well you make me look. I'm just saying, y'all wizard. You're not a wizard, but you're a producer. But because I got the other wizard over there.
Shit, we're like 2 months in or something, right? I'm trying.
Dude, you're definitely killing it, for no doubt about it. Let's put it this way. You are influencing other people who are in the radio game trying to get their live stream fix. Just saying. I've seen it. I've seen it on Twitter. I know who's out there, but I ain't gonna dime them out. I ain't gonna hold you to the feet to the fire like that. We're just gonna keep pushing the envelope, doing good work. Tony Romo is in the news indirectly.
I did see that.
Jalen Smith, the linebacker, wants to wear the number 9 if the owners agree to change who can wear what number. Basically, certain numbers are required for positions. If the owners overturn that, then the number 9 would be available for pretty much any player. Now, do you know why Jalen Smith wants 9?
Didn't he used to wear it in high school or something like that?
He wore it at Notre Dame,
Okay.
yeah. So he wore it at Notre Dame before he had his gruesome injury. And people are saying, how could you disrespect Tony Romo like this? And I'm like, look, shut your mouth. Tony Romo didn't win anything. Therefore, Tony Romo's number isn't untouchable. The only numbers that are untouchable in Dallas Cowboy history should be 8, 12, 88, 22.
21?
Dion wasn't there that long.
Okay.
He wasn't there that long. Some of the older guys, somebody tell me Ray White's number, probably 74. And then whatever number Ed Too Tall Jones's number was. Those numbers, and then Roger Staubach with 12. I gotta show respect to Roger like that. So those numbers are the only ones that are untouchable. 9, I'll put 9 on the damn practice squad quarterback before I worry about hurting Tony Romo's feelings. He's making godly millions of dollars at CBS. His own statement was, if it wasn't for CBS, I'd have to still be playing in the NFL. CBS did him a solid. He is fine. We shouldn't worry about Tony Romo's feelings on how he's being disrespected, allegedly. Get out of here with that nonsense.
He's got that high maintenance wife over there, doesn't he?
He's high maintenance.
Oh, okay.
I mean he's made enough money. He's not. Excuse me, Tony. Well, you have your $10,000 wine cellar in your background while you're getting interviewed by Graham Norton. Excuse me. My apologies. This is your sunroom? This is what this is? Give me a break, bro. Antonio. His real name is Antonio. Did you know that? No, it is. His real name is Antonio.
If you ever bring me in for a remote interview, I'm gonna make sure I'm in my wine cellar, getting some sunbathing while I'm eating crackers, cheese, and.
You can bring out the charcuterie board too.
Yeah.
Do you know what a charcuterie board is?
No, but I'll bring it out.
You can bring up that. I want the charcuterie board. I want the vino, and I want linen trousers in my duck shoes loafers, so I can get my Tony Romo on.
You got it.
Just saying. Be getting that. Don't be out here feeling sorry for Tony Romo.
Okay, now what does a charcuterie board consist of?
A charcuterie board is a platter of different cheeses and deli meats that's arranged in a fancy fashion. They're very popular at hoity-toity events, or if you're gonna go get brunch and drink bottomless mimosas. Get me out of here with this nonsense. It's a bunch of fuddy-duddies going around doing hoity-toity things for no reason other than to flex on people. It's just another flex, another clout chase. That's all it is. But charcuterie boards are damn tasty. Hey, don't judge me because mine's on a paper plate when yours is on some fancy cutting board that's $100. Get out of here. But it still tastes great. I mean, I ain't gonna lie about that. But you could have like fruit and hoity-toity stuff, man. It would actually, minus the cheeses, like you probably like it. They're good. It tastes good. Just
not your cup of tea.
I mean, it tastes great, but I'm not gonna go spend like a lot of money on one to buy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hoity-toity.
Well, you don't make that Tony Romo money.
And if I did make that Tony Romo money, I would probably still do the same thing I do now.
I'm gonna save this clip right here.
You do that because when we blow up and we're showing everybody the money supposedly, and we're over here in linen pants with a wine cellar in the background, drinking your bottomless mimosas, sunbathing and all that. I'm gonna remember.
Hopefully we don't have shitty Wi-Fi.
I didn't. Well, do we have it now?
Comment below if we do.
I don't think we do. Last time I saw you talking through that YouTube, it said excellent strength.
True.
See, excellent strength.
Yep.
All right, guys, it's been a fun show, different show. 8 minutes after the hour. Just trying to make sure nothing broke while we were bantering there. Are you gonna go watch that Jeopardy after we get out of here?
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think? How much do you think Alex Trebek was making? How much is it going to take Aaron to leave the NFL? The reason I was bringing up that Tony Romo money, the CBS money, was because I wanted to get. I was like, what is it going to take? Is it going to take 10? This is all millions. Is it going to take 12? 15? Would they pay him 20? He was making 10. So Alex Trebek was making $10 million a year. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. He was making $10 million a year.
He also holds a record for the most episodes of a game show hosted.
Well, I mean, he was actually doing game shows like in the 70s. Before he was in the United States, he was doing some shows in Canada. They did little behind the scenes with him. He was surprisingly, like, I always thought he was American. I didn't know he was Canadian. But what do you think? What do you think the number is going to be? He's only making, like right now, he's only making what, like 7 million? I say only, but yeah. For a quarterback, that's very low. I say he walked for 10, 15.
I was going to say 12.
12, yeah, 12, 15 million.
Yeah. You don't have to be out there every Sunday risking your,
Dude, they only film like half a year. They film 5 episodes a day. They probably work, 150 days out of the year. He has a house in L.A. Just saying. Get that Tony Romo money.
Might as well.
All right, guys. It's been a fun show. We're off tomorrow. Catch James on Dark Side Mañanas. What time, James?
6:45-ish. 7. 7.
You can make people sit through that promo?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Also, everybody, we're having the Paul Rodriguez draft party. I'm going to nail down the name on that. On April 29th, so catch us live when we're doing that as well. We'll be running a special and a promo giveaway to come. Just kind of figuring out what we want to give away. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. But look for that promo coming out probably on the 15th of April, which is about 9 days from now. And we'll see y'all then. Anything else you want to leave them with?
You can have Edward coming on that day?
Well, he never responds, so I don't know. Edward, are you listening? The Wizard, we need you. We kind of need you on the show.
Comment down below.
Just leave a note in the comments. If y'all are enjoying the show, like and subscribe. Hey, subscribe, y'all. Like, if y'all really like the show, just tell your friends to subscribe. It's a fun show. We're trying to keep it like as loose as we can. Just make sure people don't get in trouble. That's the only damn thing. We're out.